Guys, welcome to this week. This week I'll be talking about consumer products, especially I'll be looking at spirit drink, or you call it alcohol, and then looking at the alternative of that, how that has changed over the last couple of years. So I was doing the basic research, and what motivated me to look into this product is basically, and as I continue to engage in other activity, one thing that comes to my mind is the consumption of some um, drinks, especially um, whether you call it water or whatever you might be drinking. So I think about those people who are actively involved in sports and athletes. So this season, they kind of consume a lot of drinks, whether cake, spray, suckers, they have some of those drinks that they need to get hydrated, whether electrolytes or whatever you might call them. So I see that as a potential sales period. But this is a season of summer and we expect that. But one of the things that I have thought about was the decline in the sales of um, alcoholic products. And I was reading some news and doing some more research about what kind of drinks will actually be so popular during the summer seasons that would increase sales revenue for that company, and thereby you will expect some kind of good dividend, perhaps within that period of time or towards the end of the year. And I was looking at Diageo, and basically I was shocked how much um, there's a reduction in the cost, and as well as a decline, significant decline in the share price. So that was quite a shocking part of the news that I've gone through. So I look at it from this point. I'm going to go through live trading to look at this in a more live session. So if you wait till that session, you'll find more information that I'll be looking at that point. So when you look at this share price based on this data that I have from Reuters, basically looking at it from this point, I could see a good increase in 2022, but look at the decline. That has been consistent. That has been consistent over the years. So what I'm going to do now, look at this from a real life trade, and I'm going to compare it with a company such as Coca-Cola to see how uh, changes in consumer perceptions of healthy drinks and unhealthy drinks tends to influence their price. And also look at it whether there's any kind of significant change during this summer season. And that will give me some ideas about what I could do in the future. If we are somewhere at the towards the end of winter, uh, do I choose to buy shares from this type of company, hoping that there's going to be a kind of increased sales revenue during summer, and perhaps that may lead to some dividend towards the end of the year or the financial year for that company or that particular quarter, if you like. So when I look at um, the company shares, let's see what that gave us. Okay, here we go, Diageo. Let's look at the stock price over time. Okay, that tends to take longer than usual for me. All right, so here we go. I can see sharp rise today, but do not be misled by this. Remember that last week was a terrible um, was a significant trade decline last week. Was it very favorable? So that is basically recovery. Those are kind of short-term shocks. I don't really read minutes to all those kind of sharp decline and sharp rise. I look at it over a period of time. So when I look at it, I would rather look at it for the last 5 years. Yeah. As I expected, that's what I could see here. So I could see that sustained decline in the share price for this company. So look at 220, and that was the highest I could see here. And this was 2021. And we could see how that has continued to decline in stock price. And currently, this is trading at uh, 84, in fact, $85 a stock from from all high of 220 to $85 a stock. So again, this is not very impressive. Uh, if you want to read meaning to this, you have to look at the products the company is into, and you have to think about the consumers or sales revenue and how that is impacting on this company. Where the company is headed to could be in a very difficult territory, given that sustained decline in the stock price. So this company basically produces alcoholic beverages. If you might pause this video and kind of recall or reflect on how long ago you've had alcoholic drinks. If you ask me that question, I'll probably tell you I can't remember. So that would be my response. So many of you probably don't even remember when last you've consumed an alcoholic drinks, or maybe you've never even consumed at all, or might be several years ago. So when that happens, that has impact on the company's financials. It impacts on their balance sheets, and it also impacts on their profit and loss statements. And that impact indirectly translates to the company's value. And that is very important. And these are things that you look at before making that decision. I would have seen a company like this to be a potential company to invest in, given that they be having a decline in their stock price over the years. And I will be anticipating that this is going to have a reverse case where the stock price will start going up. But that's not the case. I don't even expect that in this situation because I expect people to continue to focus on drinks that provide them nutritional benefits as compared to drinks that will have impact on their heads. And many health professionals, physicians, basically advising against drinking of alcohol for different reasons. And if you are in that situation, if you think about it critically, you're going to see both young and old people reducing their consumption of alcohol or staying away from it completely. So is that a good company to invest in? My point of view, um, I won't. Okay. And if we look at the alternative to that, people are actually moving towards what we call the prebiotic soda drinks, if you like, more healthier drinks. Again, there's kind of questions here to raise whether are these actually healthier drinks. Maybe if you look at some nutritional contents, perhaps they provide some level of nutrition, but is from my perception is not as much as what the drinks companies are actually advertising it for. And you may also have to weigh the cost and benefit of drinking these high processed prebiotic soda drinks. Um, we've seen PepsiCo as well have continued to change their drink contents, their marketing strategies, and everything. So we're gonna see some level of interest in their products, and I do expect that to perhaps continue to grow over time. So one of the things that I would do, let's have a quick look at this company and see how their share price has changed over time. Eh, So we have Coca-Cola here. Now we're going to look at 5 years trading history and say the trends. Wow, that is impressive. That is impressive. So I could see some good momentum here. Again, I always sometimes I refer to this when I'm talking to my students that Coca-Cola has remained a fundamental drink producer or manufacturer for over the years. Some of their ingredients that actually made the Coca-Cola desserts are still yet to be well understood by people, and that is because their trade secrets are well protected. So they continue to research. That is also another thing, and that has a monumental impact on people buying their products. But again, when you look at the share price, if we go back to 2021, we could see the rise in their share price all the way through. And currently, this is trading at $83, or if you like, you say $84. Okay. Um, All-time high, okay, $84 perhaps. Now, if I look at it from 2020, from 2021, that is a significant change in their stock price. Now, if I go back to the maximum, maybe we look at it perhaps to 2014, that might give us a better perspective for a long period of time. Okay, so let's look at from 2014, July. So here we are. And so basically, this is July 2014. Okay. All right. So we could see from here is about, on average, we could say is somewhere around $40, if you like, within that period. And in that about 10 years history, we could say that the price literally doubled. So they continue to maintain that momentum. Um, and I'm not surprised about that. Again, it goes back to innovation when it comes to their products. Customers, customers' interests or customer needs have changed from just an excitement type of drinks like alcohol to more health benefit or nutritional drink. And companies' ability to adjust their products through product innovation is very important in sustaining that change in consumer perceptions or consumers' expectations. And when company is able to adapt to that change, it's a significant indicators that that companies could be fundamentally a good company to invest in. So now you imagine if you have invested in Coca-Cola in about 10 years ago, by now your investment would have doubled. That is a significant return on investment. So this is something to look at. And if I really want to do some analysis in terms of whether the consumer behavior tends to change during summertime, I will actually want to read data and look at the historical data month to month. That will give me a better perspective of how the consumers' consumptions of these drinks have changed. But again, I could also have a quick look based on this data here. So let's say we have someone actually pick up somewhere in May, towards the end of May. And if we trace that up, maybe in the state of Colorado, perhaps not many states, it's still cold in some states, but in Colorado by the end of May, and it's already very hot summer, and drinks become very important at that point in time. So you could see from here, the six thanks to have a sharp rise here in June and continue to maintain that momentum. Let's see when it actually dip, if there's any. So it goes all the way to February. It dips here in December. So I could see a little bit of sharp rise in the middle of summer in July. So we could see that around here where we have uh, July 31st, we say the price to be $40.40. So this, and then it kind of reduced afterwards. And I pick up again somewhere in March. I could see some behavior here when it comes to summer consumption, changes in stock price. Perhaps we could link that back to the summertime. And again, let's see this sharp rise. This is in December. And yeah, it's hard to say when it comes to companies like this. When we start using drinks like this to look at that month to month, the best way now we actually have a better insight into this is to get the actual data and they have a historical month to month comparison or put them in a two by two table and make that analytics. But I hope this gives you some information in terms of uh, products when it comes to consumer products with respect to alcohol and other type of drinks.